Psalm 37:4 says, "Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." Many people take this to mean that if you ask God, he will supply everything you ask him for. That is why there are so many disappointed and disillusioned Christians. They have learned to ask for things based on their own selfishness and greed. What the verse actually means is that if you seek after him first, then he will change the things you want and ask for to align with his will for you. I always thought that there was something wrong with me. Then one day, while I was praying, God began to open my eyes. He showed me that I was chasing the world's concept of success. I was told what the world thought success was, and I pursued it, not realizing that I didn't even want it. Being in charge of the world's money supply and controlling all the people wasn't in the cards for me. Thank God. It was in these moments that God began to show me his vision for my life. It was at this point in my journey that I began to realize how successful I was, and I had been for a very long time. I stopped chasing an idea of success that wasn't mine. I began to examine the ideas, beliefs, and attitudes that I had learned in my childhood, were reinforced in my teenage years, and pursued in my early adult years. I owned an idea of success for much of my life just because I was not aware of the truth. When I began to look around at my life, I saw that I had a strong relationship with my Creator. I had the abilities and gifts that he gave me. I had the love, friendship, and trust of many people. I had the respect and love of my kids. I had my health and intelligence. I had so many positives in my life, even though I faced difficulties all around me, but I was deceived into thinking that I wasn't worth very much. I now know that I am successful, not only because I have all of the things that were mentioned above, but also because of the value and worth I bring to others' lives. I don't mean monetary value, but the positive comment in the midst of a negative atmosphere. They are words of encouragement to someone who is feeling down or left out. It's having the conviction to stand my ground on what is true or right, no matter what the consequences. It's having the courage to learn from my biggest failures, disappointments, and pain, so that I may share the lessons with others in need. Maybe, yes, I have been successful for most of my life. It's time for you to take a look at your own life. Who defines whether you are successful or not? We all are created to have relationships with others, which makes social interaction an important part of life. We all strive at some level to be accepted by those around us. That feeling of acceptance is what many people seek as their measure of success. If people around us are praising us, then we must be doing well, or so we think. So at this point, you need to be honest with yourself. Up to this point, who has determined whether you feel successful? Friends, family, co-workers, or business partners, and the expectations of society have determined success in general for most people. It's hard to admit, but it's true. If you examine the things you have been striving for, you are sure to find that many of the people who fall into the groups mentioned above have shaped you and your definition of success. But who should define success in your life? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm suggesting that success should be defined by God and by your relationship with Him. I know that I turned some people off with that statement, but I ask you to approach this with an open mind. Besides, if you're like most people, then the results you have been getting from the common way of defining success has been very disappointing. I'm asking you to suspend all fear, doubt, and disbelief. Will you do that? Do you mean it? Are you willing to continue making progress? If what I have to share isn't true, real, and relevant to you, then you can disregard what I say and just go back to your old ways. If it is, though, then you are on the road to a new and unexpected future. One where your steps are guided, and although you are engaged in spiritual warfare, you are certain of the outcome. Yes, your definition of success should be based on God. It has been said, "He who pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor." In other words, if you are doing the right things for the right reasons, you will be successful. If you have found this episode helpful, please follow, like, rate, and share with your friends on social media. Thanks for joining me at Renew to Win. Remember, maybe everything you have ever believed doesn't actually matter to what is truly real.